Hey guys, welcome back to Economics and Comics. This is your movie review on a movie called Silencio. I'm here with Joel and Mike Massey from Gone with the Twins. We didn't actually go to a theater. We actually
we got a
streamed it.
Streaming link.
Very interesting.
Oh, although you shouldn't reveal that, right? There's an air of mystery if we saw this in the theater.
Well, this movie is mysterious. And they say it's, well, real quick, if you're new to the channel, please sub. Check out our videos, all our movie reviews we have. And if you ever want to check out any type of movie review, go to gonewiththetwins.com. They have it all. But, they said this is based on a true events or true story. I can't remember what it said, but the only thing I think that's possibly true about it is the very beginning.
Yeah. Well, the initial premise is that the events are surrounded by the real life place of the Zone of Silence, which is in Mexico, and it's sort of their like Bermuda Triangle where there's a lot of mystery and mythos surrounding. Yeah, specifically supernatural.
Specifically, it's supposed to be an area where radio transmissions can't penetrate it, so there's lack of communication. Supposedly, there's mutated animals and mutated plants and things, and a lot of urban legends and myths that kind of surround
like
this
the
area.
magnetic,
radioactive kinds
there's
of things.
There's no north or south.
It's like the Area 51 Bermuda Triangle of Mexico. And that actually started because of. In Utah, the United States launched a missile that crash landed in the Zone of Silence in July of 1970, and that's what started all of this mythological stuff. Which is
Did you say Utah?
It's because the missile was carrying radioactive material.
You said Utah?
Utah's where the
I think
launch
it was New Mexico, actually.
In the film or in real life?
In real life, I think it was. They wanted to end up in White Sands or whatever, and it went 500 miles off target. At least for them, we're probably. I'm pretty sure though.
We'll have to
but yeah, kind of insinuating that the magnetic pull from that area pulled it there.
But in the movie, essentially, there's a scientist who's played by John Noble, and his name is James White, and he discovers. Well, they're working on the site where the
recovery.
And the recovery where the missile crashed, and they uncover this rock that's been kind of contaminated with radioactive material and stuff, and. In the context of this movie, this rock enables them to time travel, and not only time travel, but it also allows them to kind of play around with death and reverse death and save people's lives and things like that.
Yeah, so you get a bit of there's a butterfly effect type of thing in here, but they basically, for some, I guess, inexplicable reason, at 3:33 a.m., if you hold this rock, you can transport to any point in time that you can imagine, which means it has to be something relevant in your own life. And the main purpose here is to save a life, to change the course of time.
But even more inexplicably, the main scientist guy, he thinks about his family who passed away, and he's transported back in time to where his family is, and he's actually able to save one of his family members kind of accidentally.
Yeah, there was a
but he
road
also
accident.
Transports his assistant with him.
I guess because he was touching him.
Yeah.
But before, real quick before that, his family, they kind of refer back to it. They had, you see it when he transports back what happened, but his family was involved in a car accident, and they all died. His kid, his daughter, his wife, and her kids.
It's the daughter's husband, and his 2 grandchildren.
They all die, and
but when he transports back in time to that same moment where they get in the car accident, he's actually able to save one of the granddaughters.
And he goes all the way back.
He goes all the way back
wasn't even there.
Yeah, and so he basically starts over again at that point in time.
There's also a catch though. When you save somebody's life, someone else's life will kind of trade places.
They're trying
really
to make
ridiculous.
It is very ridiculous.
It's very convoluted.
But they're trying to make as much scientific explanations as possible. So there's that whole action reaction, and everything has to balance out. So if you save a life, then somewhere else along the line, somebody else is going to lose their life, and it's a messy kind of a tricky thing, but
and maybe that's why when he went to save the daughter or the young daughter saw him, the other ones died. He couldn't save them all because he had to like they were saying somebody has to die. You exchange life for another, so that even though they all died, you got one away. Some people still died. I haven't really thought.
Well, I think in the context of the film, it's actually his wife.
Yeah, his wife dies.
Is the one that dies
because he saved his grandchild.
Because the whole family was already going to die, so he just happened to save one life, and then the other people were going to die anyway. So I think it's his wife that ends up taking the place and dying prematurely.
So that all took place in the 70s. So. Yeah. You know,
now
we're here now.
Yeah, in present day, so Anna is the name of the girl he saved, the granddaughter. And so she's
now she's grown up and she has her own son. Yeah, and he is kind of in a vegetative state almost.
The doctor, James James White, is played by John Noble, is the doctor who is in a vegetative state. Yeah, and so Anna is a therapist, a psychotherapist or something.
She has a client who's a clairvoyant.
Yeah, his name
conveniently.
His name is Daniel, and for some reason they just completely.
He's able to talk to the dead, and he's
just
able to talk to
Sixth Sense.
One of the dead granddaughters.
Yeah.
Well, real quick though, I wanted to say about the movie itself, not the plot, but it's a different type of movie. It's very interesting. I was into it at the beginning because I like supernatural and sci-fi and stuff like that, and there's a little bit of Spanish and a little bit of English. It's mixed in very well. And I thought the acting was really good too, but after the very beginning sequence, it kind of gets lost in this weird story of things that, would you do that or not? It's like, why would you do that? Why did you do this? Why is it this?
Yeah, I think the acting is very competent, but it's the storyline that just keeps kind of escalating into this more and more wild tangent, basically. And
well, they wanted to do multiple things. They wanted to do a Sixth Sense storyline. They wanted to do a butterfly effect storyline. They wanted to do a time travel storyline.
I think it's too much mixing both the time travel and the concept of trying to save.
And then there's the whole crime drama mystery of there's a kidnapper who comes along, and you got to figure out who's behind all of this stuff. Somebody's trying to get a hold of the Rock, right? Because the Rock has all this power, and so there's this this kind of teenage Mexican kid who is paid to come get the Rock, and then he ends up kidnapping Anna's son, and all sorts of stuff just goes wrong.
Yeah, everything's it's really crazy. Yeah, the father comes out of the coma at 333 or whatever. He goes to find the Rock. He can't find it. There's some deaths involved. They kidnap the son because we don't have a lot of time here. So they go to there's a point where her son dies, and the kidnaps got her, and he dies accidentally. So she has to make a choice with the Rock. When you have the Rock, you can make your wish or whatever at 333, and you can go back and save someone, but someone else is going to die. But the villain, which is a friend of her grandpa's, his daughter's died of cancer. So he's trying to convince her, let me have the Rock. I'll go back. It'll all change and blah, blah, blah. It's really... the final scenes are pretty ridiculous, with guns being drawn and people shooting each other, and no one's doing the right thing. And there's no real clear... Someone takes the Rock and goes back in time, and we don't know who did it. And that was very frustrating to me. I mean, I guess it's kind of fun for some people. Oh, what really happened? But, the whole 333, why you can only go back and save someone at a certain time, and why that's all the Rock does.
I think reflecting back upon it, there's so many little details that really don't make a lot of sense. They're really confusing. I didn't catch any specific reason as to why 333 is the only time the stone works, and it's just a lot of little things.
Those are trivial things. I think one of the biggest problems is that Daniel, who can speak to the dead, that entire plot line is meaningless. There's no reason for Lisa is the sister of Anna who died in the Freak Road accident, so she's able to communicate with Daniel and say, oh no, the Rock's buried over here. She gives him clues and things, but why couldn't they, the whole story could have existed just fine without that whole, because that's another element.
Plus, when she holds the stone, she can see Lisa all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's.
I think we should agree though that, like you said, they tried to throw too much in this. Like, the Zone of Silence is an actual real place where you lose communication, stuff like that, and there's a lot of theories and UFOologists and all this thinking about magnetic pull and weird spot related to longitude and latitude with the Egyptians and Area 51 and all this crazy stuff. That itself is a movie. Yeah. But then they own ghosts, clairvoyance, a weird time, 333. Why didn't they do 1111? You can only save one person. You had butterfly effect.
And they wrap in the murder mystery and
drama.
So it's a lot.
There's a love story in there too.
Yeah. That's weird too. And it's just too much.
To wrap it up though, what are your final thoughts?
I'll let you guys go first.
I think it really is just that they tried to put a million ideas into one movie, and All the actors take it very seriously. I think when we say it out loud, the plot sounds kind of wonky and all over the place. But as you're watching it, it doesn't feel quite that out there.
It's actually slow, kind of.
Yeah, a little
when
bit.
you watch it. But I really had high hopes for it because I wanted to see something different. And
well, it was different.
It was definitely,
but not in a good way.
Yeah, it might be a fun movie to watch. I don't know. Is this movie even making the theaters or?
It might be straight to.
I think it's straight to streaming and DVD, but it's interesting to dab into some different things.
Yeah. Well, it's technically a foreign movie. So.
And it wasn't that. The acting was great, I thought. The plot was pretty much unbelievable, though. I mean.
Yeah. Too many suspensions of disbelief.
Even with something dealing with the supernatural and all that stuff, I think they took it a little too far.
Push the boundaries. Yeah.
For a movie to say based on a true story or true events or something like that, and use like one little fraction, they've really exploited the true part and turned it into a total. You know, sometimes you're like, did that all really happen? No, none of it did, except for one.
It's an advertising gimmick.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
But definitely check out the movie Silencio, their site, GoneWithTheTwins.com, and maybe Google Zone of Silence. Might be interesting to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time, okay?
Thanks.
Thanks.